pain of the past. He still remembers all interview that knew wrong strong, the humiliations that feels of begins treated like someone uncurtained. Treated that memory has alive inside him. She makes mistake but also tries to. She lies sometimes, but she also feels shame. She complains, but she not always run. She is proud, but she can also be wounded. This makes Yaman angers less simple, and he does not like that a person who has built his strength and old angers because afraid. When that angers because Yaman does not want to feel some softens because softness may open and pain. He does not want to feel cares because care may mistake him valuable. He does not want to see Doga and human because it is easier to punish a symbols that are real persons. Yet life keeps pushing him into moment where he must sees her clearly. He sees when she is tries and alone. He sees her, but when he stands in public shame but refuses to break. He sees her when she hides tears behind sharp words. Each time the image of the old Daga becomes less powerful. The form itself becomes a silent witness to this change. During the day, everything looks ordinary. The animals need feeding, the fields need work, people move from one task to another. But under this ordinary rhythms, emotional are growing. Quality Doga and Yamar speak to each other like enemies, yet their eyes tells a different story. Their arguments are no longer cares the weight of things. They are not saying when Doga because Yaman of enjoying her pain. She is also asking why teaches her to closely. When Yaman tells she is not ready for real life, she is also trying to convincing himself that she has not changed. Their conversations are full of hidden questions. This the part of Mega creates wound of Doga. She thought the form was hard because it made her body tries, but the party makes her soul tried. This is special pain is being seized by people who know your old status and now watch your serves them. Every look feels like a judgment, every smile feels like a secret laugh, every polite word feels heavier than a insult. Muse understands that this kind of pain very well. She knows how to use social shame like a weapon. She does not need to shout, she does not need to push, she only needs to place Doga in the right position and the room to do rest. Doga tries to keep the face calm. She tells herself she will not gives Muse the pleasure of seeing her breaking, but inside she is burning. She remembers time when she entered room as a guest, not as someone carrying strays. She remembers how people one moved toward her, not past her. She remembers how easy to waste it as important when everyone around her keeps different below from the palace. She gazes her correctly, but she may not noticed before. She sees how quickly people change when status changes. She sees how kindness disappears when deep power disappears. The keep hurts, but it opens her eyes. Yaman watched from a distance, and her speech becomes harder to control. He wanted Doga to learn humility. He wanted her to test the state, the kind of discomfort the ordinary people face without complaint, but seeing her insult that room surrounded by smiling curiosity creates something he did not expect. At first, she tells himself she deserved the lessons. He reminds himself of the past. He remembers how small she once made him feel, but sees the moment her hand tightening around the tray. He sees the moment he forced a smile when someone speaks down to her. She sees moment she looks away before anyone can notice the hurt in her eyes. Suddenly, revenge does not taste as sweet as he imagined. This is where Yaman inner struggles becomes important. He has to ask himself what he truly wants. Does he want Doga to become better, or he does not want her to suffer? He does want justice, or through presents? These questions are not easy to him because they thread the story he has told himself for years. If we admit the want to fear, then he must has admit that his pain has turned him into someone who can hurt anyone's persons. Yaman does not want to believe he is fair, strict, and honest, but honestly must again with himself. Mute noticed Yaman watching Doga. She may not understand every feeling, but she understands attention. In the world, attention is power. If Yaman eyes follows Doga, then Doga is fully defeated. Mute does not like smiles interesting. She wants the room to see Doga fall, not Yaman concerns, so Mug may push harder. She may create a small scene, ask Doga to serve someone difficult, or speak in a way that appears polite but carries poisons. Her goal is simple. She wants Doga to lose control in front of everyone. Doga almost does. The old Doga rises inside her like a flame. She wants to ask answer. She wants to throw the tray down. She wants to remind everyone who she is. She wants to state that this uniform, that this job and this moment do not define, but the something stop her. Maybe it is memory of her father's disappointed eyes. Maybe it is Yaman harsh voices in her saying that she always run from hard things. Maybe it her own pride finally turning into strength. Instead of exploding, she breathes, she looks amused and gives a small smile that is not weak. Then she continue working that moment, changing something. It may look like smalls others, but inside Doga it's huge. She has won a battles that one else can fully seize. She had not defeated Muse with words. She cannot prove himself through wealth. She has not escaped through excuses. She has simply stayed standing. This is new kind of victory for her, and because he is quiet, it is more powerful. Doga begins to feel that maybe strength is not always loud. Sometimes strength is a calm face when the heart is shaking. Sometimes it is fishing the night when every part of your wants to despair. Yaman sees this and respect begins to grow in him. It is not love yet, or at least the refuses to name it as love, but it respect. And respect dialogue dangerous because it can open the door to everything else. He has seen many people talk bravery and then fail. When fail becomes hard, he expected Doga to be one of those people. But the party shows him something else. She may not be ready, but she is not empty. She may be spoiled, but she is not without courage. She may have grown inside comfort, but she still stands inside pain. This trust troubles him more than her complaint ever did. After the party, the silence between Yaman and Doga becomes different. Before, silence as wall, nothing is become a pride. Neither of them wants to cross. Doga is too tries to fight with full strength. Yaman is too conflicted to be as cruel as before. The night air feels heavy and both of them carry words they do not know how to say. Doga expects another insult. She expects him to remind her that she deserves the lesson. She expects him to say that now she understands what real work feels like, but Yaman does not say those things immediately. He looks at her and from a short moment the hard lines of his face softens. Doga notices and makes her uncomfortable. She knows how to defend herself against harshness. She does not know what to do with softness from him. If we attack, she can attack back. If we can, she must feel something more complicated. She can stand away pretending to adjust something in her hand. Pretending the silence means nothing, but the silence follows her. If enters the throw even after she walk away. Yaman quiet look before more disturbing than his hangers. The next morning, Doga wakes up a different kind of tiredness. Her body is heavy, but her mind is even heavier. She thinks about the party, about huge smiles, about the guest eyes, and about the moment she did not break. She wants to feel proud, but she also feels sad. Growth often feels like that. It is not always exciting. Something becomes stronger. Nears losing all illusions, Doga has lost and other illusions about her social world. She has seen that many people respected her positions more than her person. That trust is painful, but it also frees her a little. If their respect who was weak, maybe losing it is not a terrible as she thought. One on the farm, people may talk about what happened. She may laugh. Some may praise her quietly, and some may act if nothing has changed. But Doga feels the change. She moved through the morning with less performance. She still complains when the work is hard, but there is a new weight in her. So she no longer treats every task like an insult. She begins to understand that work can be tiring without being shameful. Serving people who shameful for duty only because on the others look at it. Their work itself was honest. The purity came from those who used the work to make her feel loyal. These realizations become important of her futures. Doga is beginning to separate warmth from status. Before she belief begins, serve meant power and serving meant lost. Now she has seen that a person can serve that still keep dignity. She has also seen that a person can be rich and still be small inside. That is one of lessons that gives her even when she learns it away from the form. The law of nature does not only speak through soil and animals, it speaks through every moment that remove false pride. Mirth lies becomes more dangerous in these emotional atmospheres. When Doga is hurt, she may become more open to comfort. A person who speaks gently at the right moment, she appears gently at the right moment can appear trustworthy. Martin understands that is try to use it. He may come to Doga with soft word telling her she did not deserve such treatment. He may present himself as the persons who understand her. Unlike Yaman, he may remind her on old world where people know her on speak polite and his pride roughness at first. This may feel formatting to yoga after Yaman hard lessons. Mud softness can seize like soft safely, but safely built and line in a trap. Mert wants to look better than he is. False story about helping or saving data gives him a place in her mind that he has not earned. That is not small mistake. It is emotional theft. He is taking gratitude that belongs to the trust and using it is for himself. The longer the lie continue, the more painful its discovery will be. Doga already feels that many people are controlling her life. If she learns that Mert has also shaped her feeling with dishonesty, her trust may break badly. Yaman may see something wrong with Mert, but its own pride can make the situation worse. If he wants Doga too harshly, she may think he is only jealousy or controlling. If he says nothing, Mert lie may grow. If he exposes the trust is angers, Doga may focus more or Yaman stones that the trust itself. This creates a strong dramatic problem because Yaman has trust or a last part of it, but he does not how to deliver trust with care, how to command. He knows how to criticize, he knows how to stay silent, but he does not yet know how to speak from the heart without hiding behind roughness. Doga trust become the main battlefield. Muse want to destroy Doga's social confidence. Mars want to win her trust through false kindness. Yaman wants her to learn trust, but he opens hurts her while teaching it. Holasai wants her to grow, but his method feels like rejection. Everyone around Doga claims to know what is best, yet Doga must finally decide for herself. This is what makes her journey powerful. She cannot remain a girl moved by others people's plans. She must become a woman who chooses her own path. Her relationship with Holsis continue to act in the background. She may act angry with his name comes up, but his opinions still matters deeply. She wants him to be proud, yet she resents the way they pushed her into these situations. This mix of love and anger in every reels. Many children feel this when a presence tries to teach hard lessons too late. Hulasai may believe he is helping her, but Doga feels abandons both sides. Carries pain. He worries that she will never stand on her own. She worries that he will no longer see her as worth of trust. A strong scenes of the sections could show Doga speaking to her father after the party, either directly or through a message she did not need. She may fight begins with anger, saying that he wanted to say her humiliated and that everyone is happy now, but as brides or speaks, her tones may shifted. She may admit, even if to only itself, that she did not run. She may wants to tell him that survived the night, the work that he stood hers. Would people look at her thus was nothing. She may wants him to know she is trying, but pride may stop her from sending the message. This would show that Doga heart is softening, but her the law of natures begin with pride, pain, and a second chance. In Turkish drama, love often begins with a soft love, a quiet smile, or a small moment that no one else notices. But it's the law of natures. Love does not begin gently. It begins with anger. It begins with pride. It begins with anger. It begins with two people who look at each other and everything the dislike. One is Yaman and man started by hard work, disappointment, and deep wounds from the past. The other is Roga, a young woman rises inside comfort, money, and protections. Their words are not only different, their words almost fight. against each other. The story of the law of nature is not only about romance, it is about two peoples learning that life does not always obey the rules they created for themselves. Yaman believes that peoples must earn respect through struggles. Doga believes that she controls her life with confidence, charm, and family powers. But when these two meet again after years, both of them are forced to face a trust they do not want to accept. Nature has its own law, life has its own plan, and sometimes the persons we think is our enemy becomes the persons who change us the most. Yaman is not a simple romantic hero. He is not just a handsome man standing in a beautiful place. He carries a heavy past. Years before the main event of the story, he went to an important job interview. For him, that interview was not just an other's chance, it was a wood to a better's life. It was proof that his hard work could finally bring him respectful. But they did not end with success, it ended with humiliations. Doga, the dangers of a powerful businessman, made him feel small. That moment stay inside him like an ordinary injury. It did not disappear with time. It became part of the man he later became. That is why Yaman angers toward Doga is not only one bad meeting, it is about everything that meeting represented to him. Doga became the face of world where rich people can hurt others without understanding to pain they cause. She became a symbol of unfairness, carelessness, and easy privilege. Yaman worked hard, fell, stood up again, and rebuilt himself, but the memory of that day stayed with him. So he, when Doga enters his life again, he does not only a woman, he sees the past standing in front of him. Doga, on the other hand, does not fully understand the weight of her actions. She has grown up in a world where problems are often solved for her. If she falls, someone catch her. If she says mistakes, someone's often the result. This does not mean she has hurt. Doga is not evil, she is not cruel person by nature, but she is inexperienced in the real meaning of hardship. She knows how to speak with confidence, how to dress well, how to enter a room like she belongs there, and how to defend herself with attitude, but she does not yet know how to stand alone without her father's money, name, or protection. This is where the heart of the series begins. The law of nature looked Doga out of the safe glass world built around her and places her in space where comfort has no power. The farm becomes more than a location, it became a test, it became a mirror, it became the palace where Doga must see herself clearly for the first time. In the city, she can hide behind status. On the farm, she cannot. The animals do not care who her father is. The soil does not care about her credit card. The world workers do not carp for expensive clothes. The rhythm of farm life is a simple and track. Work must be done. It must be done. If someone is tried, there does not stop for them. For Doga, the new life feels like punishment. Her fathers need her there because he wants her to learn something that money cannot teach. He wants her to understand her real world. He wants her to grow up not only in age but in characters. This decision is painful for her because she feels rejected. She feels as if her father does not trust her. She thinks everyone is judge her. But in character, this decision is painful for her because she feels rejected. She feels as his father does not trust her. She thinks over everyone is judging her and waiting for her fails. and in some way she is right. Many people around her believe she will not survive from life. They see her spoiled girls who will complain, cry, and run back to the city. Yaman is one of those people. In fact, he is the strongest believer that Doga cannot handle real life. When he arrives at the farm, he does not welcome her with kindness. He does not try to make things easy for her. Instead, he gives her difficult tasks and watch how she reacts. To Yaman, this is justice. He thinks life is finally teaching her what she once refused to see. He wants her to understand that the world is not a luxury hotels. It is not a family company. It is not a place where she can others people around and expect them to smile. But there is another layers beneath. Yaman behavior is young anger in real, but it is not clean. It is mixed with pain. It is mixed with memory. It is mixed with the old feeling of being insulted by someone who had more power than him. Every time Doga complains, he hears the voice of all Doga for the past. Every time she struggles, a part of him feels satisfied, but another part of him watches too closely. Another part of him begins to notice her courage even when she is acting proud. This is where the romance begins to grow, not as a sweet dreams but as a battles between two hearts that refuses to admit they are changing. Doga first challenge is not only the physical work for warm, her real challenge is humiliations. She is not used to begins work in front of others. She is not used to asking questions. She is not used to failing in public. On the farm, she must face all of this. She must deal with people laughing at her mistakes. She must handle the Yaman good world. She must learn tasks that look simple from the way, but someone difficult when she has to them herself. Cleaning, carrying, working, and animals, waking early and following orders are not part of her old life. Each task breaks a small price of her bridge. Still, Doga is not someone who gives up easily. This is important because the series could have made her only a spoiled rich grief, but her characters are more fired than that. She may complain, but she can also fight back. She may mistake, but she does not like being defeated. When people accept her or run away, she stays longer. When Yaman tries to push her down, she stands up with sharper words. When her father and others think she cannot manage, she tries to prove them wrong. Her pride can be childish, but it gives also her strength. This is one reason Yaman becomes confused. He expected Dogai's fail quickly. He accepted her to choose comfort over effort, but she begins to stay, resist, and try again. His pictures of her start to crack. The woman in front of him is not exactly the same woman. Woman is kept memory. She is still difficult. Yes, she is still proud. Yes, but she is also more human than the image he carried for years. She can be hurt. She can be scared. She can be embarrassed. She can be brave, and slowly Yaman begins to see that his anger may not be full trust. The titles The Law of Nature's work beautifully because it more than one meaning. On the surface, it contracts to the form, the soils, the animals, and the natural beauty of Ultra, but deeper than that, it speaks about life itself. Nature does not care about our plan. Nature does not ask, it is ready. So storm close when They comes flowers grow when their seasons arrivals, peoples meet me, feed decisions. Yaman and Doga may think they are controlling the story, but they are not. Their emotions are moving like weathers. First, there is heat, then pressure, then thunders, and maybe later rain that clean everything. Episode by episode in series build this emotional storm. The first part introduced the clash. It shows the old wound between Yaman and Doga. It showed as one painful moment from the past can shape a person's viewers of someone's for prayer. It also shows Doga all from comfort into reality. She is taken from a world of plan and in elegance into a place where she must earn her place with effort. This change is hard for her, but it is also the beginning of her growth. The second part increases the tensions. Doga begins to understand that her life cannot return to normal so easily. The farm is no longer just a temporary stop, it becomes a place where she must make choices. Her father's offer and her own pride push her into a new decisions. Instead of escaping, she chooses to stay. These decisions surprise me people because it shows that Doga does not want to be seen as weak. She does not want to be girl who runs away when life becomes difficult. She wants to prove that she can stand in the same place and everyone else. For Yaman, Doga choice is both irritating and interesting. He wants to leave because her presence disturbs in peace, but he also wants to her stay because a part of him wants to keep listening her. Their relationship becomes art strange becomes game of pressure and reactions. He gives her hardship, she answers with stubbornness. She speaks coldly, she answers with pride. She tries to show her that she does not belong. She tries to prove that can she survive anywhere, but behind all this frightening sometimes else begins to appear. Their eyes stays become sharper because their feelings are becoming harder to control. This is the classic strength of Turkish romantic drama. The love does not arrive quickly, it grows through conflict, misunderstanding, and emotional pain. Viewers do not only watch two people full of love, they watch two people resist love. That resist is what creates excitement. Yaman and Doga are not ready to say kind words each others. They are not ready to admit care. They are ready to accept attraction so that feeling comes out in comes from. Our looks becomes longer than necessary and argument becomes too emotional. A small act of help becomes more meaningful than a confession. On the most interesting point is the latest update is Doka's decisions to return her car and credit card of the fathers. This is powerful moment because it shows that she wants to move the symbols of her old life. She wants to prove she is not only a rich man daughter, she wants to show that can stand equals with the peoples on the farm. But proving quality is not easy when everyone already has an opening about her. Yaman responds by giving her hardest job in this mind. This is the real test. World is are easy, pride is easy, but real work reveal the trust. This creates both comedy and drama. Doga wants respect, but she receives heavy task. She wants to look strong, but the farm exposes every weakness. She wants Yaman to see her differently, but he keeps pushing her into situations where she may fail. Yet these scenes are not only about embarrassment. They are about transformations. Every difficult task teaches doing something. She begins to understand the value of labors. She belongs to see how hard ordinary people's work. She belongs to realize that life outside her protected world has rules she never learned. At the same time, Yaman's strict behavior also reveals in his own weakness. He thinks he is teaching Doga lessons, but he is also hiding behind anchors. It is easier for him to punish for her, speak honestly about this pain. It is easier to call her spoiled than to admit that she wounded him deeply. It is easier to give orders than to ask why her presence still affects him. This makes Yaman a leader, layers characters. He is strong but not weak. He is hardworking but still tries to the past. He knows natures, but he does not fully understand the nature of his own hurts. The latest episode, Three Directions, had another strong conflict with the same medical report and Muge party. Doga tries to escape an embarrassing situation by using a false excuse. This shows that her old habits have not completely disappeared. When pressures become too much, she still looks for a shortcut. But Yaman discovers the trick and turns it against her. Instead of reporting her, he work as a waitress in as the party of her rivals. This is not only a punishment; it is a direct attack on her pride. For Doga, surviving people's and Muge party is more painful than cleaning a burn at the farm. She can tells herself she is learning, but as the party, she can show social shame, but she stands in front of someone who wants to humiliate her. She wants work in a space where people's old becomes sharper. It is not about rich girl learn from life. It is about a woman being forced to face the fear of losing her image. For someone like Doga, image has always been a shield. Without it, she feels exposed. By this may also become a turning point. Sometimes humiliation destroys a person. Sometimes it builds a new person's. Doga journey depends on what she does in that moment. If she breaks, Yaman may feel guilty. It may stand strong. Yaman may be forced to respect her. Either way, the situations will change their relationship. He may believe he is controlled, but emotional stunned by obey control. When he sees Doka truly hurt, his anger may no longer feel satisfying. When she sees that Yaman's actions come from old pain, her anger may also become complicated. And other interesting part of the new update in the softer hint around Yaman caring for Doga when she is sick, or at least when others think she is sick. The mention of soap becomes small but meaningful in dramatic drama. A care often appears before love is spoken. A man who says he does not care may still bring food. A woman who says she feels nothing may still not notice the gestures. These tiny acts create the emotional pride between two enemies. They are too ready for love, but their actions begins to betray them. Vera teasing adds lightning to the story. She sees what Doga does not want to admit. She noticed that human attentions may not be angers, only angers when someone's act, whether a man has never brought soup during sickness. The question sounds simple, but it carries a deeper meaning. It pushes Doga to think, why would Yaman do that? Why does his behavior change for harness to care? Why does his cold face his warm actions? Joker tries to reject the idea quickly, but the thought enters her mind, and once such a thought enters, if it is hard to remove, this is how the law of nature builds romance is a natural way. It does not need instant confessions. It uses small contradictions. Yaman says he dislikes Doga, but he noticed when she is weak. Doga says Yaman is not important to her, but his words angers affect her more enemies than anyone's. As they fight like enemies, they are all becoming central to each other's days. Their connections is forming through repeated concentrals contact, sharing tension and emotional damage. This series Versa teasing adds lightness to the story. She sees what Doga does not want to admit. She noticed that human attentions may not be only angers when someone asks whether a man has been ever brought soup during sickness. It question sounds simple, but it carries a deeper meaning. It pushed Doga to think, why would Yaman do that? Why does the behavior change for harshness to cares? Why does his old faces warm actions? Doga tries to reject the idea quickly, but he throw enters her mind. At once such as throw enters, it is hard to remove. This is how the law of nature builds romance in a natural way. It does not need instant confessions. It used small confrontations. Yaman says he dislikes Doga, but he notices when she is weak. Doga says Yaman is not important to her, but his words affect her more than anyone's. As they fight like enemies, but they are becoming controls to each other's days. These connections forming through repeated contact, sharing tensions and emotional challenge. The series also uses the difference between city and countryside very well. The city represents power, money, image, rivalry, and social game. The form represents Versa teasing and lightness to the story. She sees where Doga does not want to admit. She noticed that human attentions not be only angers when someone asks whether a man has never ever thrown soap during sickness. The question sounds simple, but it carries a deep meaning. It it pushes Doga to think, why would Yaman do that? Why does his behavior change from harshness to cares? Why does his cold face hide warm actions? Doga tries to reject the idea quickly, but the thought enters her mind. And once such a thought enters, it is hard for remove. This is how the law of nature will romance in law natural way. It does not need instant confession. It uses small contractions. Yaman says he dislikes Doga, but he noticed when he is weak. Doga says Yaman is not important to her, but his words affect her more than anyone's as they fight like enemies, but they also becoming central to each other's days. Their connections is forming through repeating contact, shared tensions, and emotional challenge. The series also uses the difference between city and countryside very well. The city represents powers, money, image, rivalry, and social game. The farm represent work, honesty, nature, and personal trust. Doga comes from the city and must learn from the Yaman form. Yaman belongs to that but carries wounds from the city. This contract gives the story its immense energy. Every sense between them is also a clash between two ways of living. Doga brings polish, pride, and speed. Yaman brings earth, passion, and discipline. Neither side is perfect. The city can be empty, but the form can be harsh. Comfort can make a person weak, but pain can also make a person cruel. This dead balance is important. Yaman is not always right. Just because he works hard, Doga is not always because she is rich. The best drama comes from the space between them. Yaman must learn the pain does not give him in the right to hurt others. Doga must learn that privilege does not protect her from responsibility. Both characters and growth. Both characters need humility. Both characters need to seize beyond the first image they created of each other's. Hulusi's Doga father says also an important role in the emotional structures. He is not simply sending his daughters away for no reason. His choice comes for worry. He works. Doga has been raised too softly. He may love her deeply, but love without limit can become a cage. But protecting her too much, he may have stopped from her growing. Now she wants life to teach her where he fails to teach earlier. This create can strong father's daughter. Clear is the story. Doga angers toward him is understandable, but this corner is also understandable. This makes Doga's journey more emotional. She is not only trying to prove herself to Yamans, she is also trying to prove him herself for her father. She wants to Ulysses to see her as capable. She wants him to see stop treating her like a child, but to earn that she must stop acting like the person he is afraid she has become. She must make choices that show maturity, not only pride. Returning the car and credit card it is start, but real maturity will come when she takes responsibility without turning every challenge into a performance. Merit also adds another layers of dangers when someone lies about saving another person. That is not small. It changes trust. It creates from heroes. It changes damaged relationship. When the trust come out, if Toga believe the wrong person help her, her emotions may move in the wrong directions. If Yamans know more than he says, the silence can create pain. If Mars lies exposed at the wrong moment, it can break the fragile trust forming between Yaman and Doga. This creates give the series a strong dramatic engine beyond romantic argument. The audience is now waiting for episode 3 because the story is turning point. Doga has changed to stay by studying is not the same as belonging. Yaman has choose to test her for testing her may also lose her own heart. Huge party may become a place of shame, but it may also create a during expose every. This fake report may expose Toga weakness, but the reactions for the punishment may expose her strength. Every event is pushing both ideas toward a new emotional stage. The most powering things about Yaman and Doga is that both of them are proud, but their pride comes from different places. Doga pride comes from begins protecting and praised. Yaman pride comes from surviving pain and building himself again. Doga uses pride like perfumes. Yaman uses pride like armors. When they clash, spark fly because neither wants to lower their head, but love often begins to react point where pride starts to break. For Yaman, the hardest lessons will be forgiveness. He may think Doga does not deserve it. He may think forgiveness would make his all pain meaningless. But forgiveness does not erase the past, it feels the person who carries it. If Yaman wants to move forward, but must face the trust, and Doga hurts him, but she may not be only that one mistake. People can change, people can learn, people can become more than lost moment someone remembers. For Doga, the hardest lessons will be humility. She must learn that belong strong does not mean winning every argument. It does not mean hiding every weakness. It does not mean proving everyone wrong with loud words. Sometimes strength worth waking up early. Sometimes it means accepting her respect is not giving because or a surname. It is earned through actions. As the story moves forward, the law of nature he is the chance to become more than a summer romance. It becomes a story about emotional repair. Yaman needs to repair the part of himself still alive in the past. Doga needs to repair the parts of herself that never learned clear responsibility. Hulasize needs to repair the effect of overprotective love. And even the farm community has its own judgment to face. Everyone is watching everyone's, but no one's fully understand the others. The beauty of this series is the conflict is simple enough to follow, but deep feels enough to feel. A rich girls and a hard-working man meet again. That dislike each other's. They fight, they challenge each others, but under this simple setup. But their bigger questions: can a pride, can a person escape the labels other but put on them? Can pride becomes courage instead of arrogance? Can anger turn into love? Can two peoples from different worlds build no one shared trust? At this point, the answer is not clear. That is what keeps viewers watching. Yaman and Doga are not ready for peace. Doga still has too much pride. Yaman still has too much anger, but the distance between them is thinking. Every fight brings them closer. Every punishment creates a reaction. Every secret adds pressures. Every small act of care details denial harder. The latest development suggests that episode 3 will mix horrors, embarrassment, emotional tension, and romantic heels. Doga form struggles will continue, but it will not be about physical work, it will become a public test of dignity. Yaman will continue to act through, but its own feeling may start to disturb him. The party scenes may show Doga at least lowest, but it may also become a moment where her real strength appears. Sometimes a character becomes most powerful when everyone exposed to her faults. The law of nature is using a familiar Turkish drama formula, but it has fresh energy because the lead characters have strong contract. Yaman is rough-wounded and controlled. Doga is bright, proud, and chaotic. Together they create moment. He pulls her down to earth. He shakes his silence where he teaches her reality. She forces him to real again. Neither know it yet, but they are really changing each other's. This is why the story works. It is not only about whether Yaman and Doga fall in love. It is about what they become before they are, because a growth between two peoples who are still hiding behind false version of themselves. Doga must become honest with herself. Yaman must become honest with his pain. Only this can their connections become something real. For now, the law of nature is clear. Pressure creates change. Storms reveal weak branches. Roots grow deeper when the wind is strong. Yaman and Doga are both inside the storm. They may call him it hate, they may call him punishment, they may call it pride, but slowly something new is growing between them. And once nature begins to work, no one can stop it. Doga real test begins when comfort disappears. The real story of the law of nature becomes stronger when Doga starts to understand that the farm is not only a place where she has been sent for punishment. At first, she looked at everything around her like it's temporary. The dust on the road, the smell of movement, animals, the rough voices of workers, the early morning, and the simple food all feel strange to her. She thinks she is only passing through this life for a short time. She believes that soon she will return to real world, where clothes are clean, rooms are quiet, phones are always charged, and people answers when she calls. But slowly the farm begins to take away. But this belief, it does not happen in one day. It happens through small familiar, small surprises, and small moments. When Doga realized that her old ways do not work here, the form its own language. It speaks through the wound of its vine in tree, the heavy step of animals, the noise of tools, the smell of wet earth, and the dry faces of peoples who work from morning until evening. Doga does not understand this language at first. She only sees dirt, discomfort, and rules that make no sense to her. She asks why things must be done in such a difficult way. She asks why everyone wakes up so early. She asks why no one stops to complain, but nobody gives her the kind of answer she wants. The answer is always the same when even no one says it directly. This is her life. Work does not wait for anyone. Yaman knows this life deeply. He does not need to explain. it because he leaves it. His hands, his silence, and his sharp eyes already carried the trust forms. He has learned that nature does not respect excuses. If animals need food, they must be fed. If the field needs care, someone must go there. If a problem appears, it must be solved before it grows bigger. This is why Yaman has little patience for Doga complaint. To him, her words sound like the voice of a world that does not know what real efforts means. Every time she speaks with anger, he hears privilege. Every time she refuses her task, he sees every weakness. Every time she tries to escape work, he remembers the old pain she caused him years ago. But Doga is not and simply empathy for Yaman belief. She may not know that life, but she has pride, energy, and a strong need to prove herself. At the beginning, this need comes from anger. She does not want Yaman to win. She does not want him to look at her dad good smiles as if he already knows as she was fails. She does not want to know workers whispers that she is only a rich girl who carry even one box without making a drama. She does not want her father's to hear that gives up. So she stays, she bites her tongue, she lives things she does not know how to live. She walks where she does not want to walk. She does not and everything well, but she keeps appearing the next morning. This is the first sign of Doga is changing. Yaman noticed this even is does not want to admit it. He sees when she is tired to sees when she feels hurt. He sees when his face loses its confidence, shines for a new few seconds. He also sees when she tries, hides her pain and acts like nothing matters. This annoys him because it reminds him that she is not only the spoiled woman she wants her to be. It would be easier for him she were simple. It would be easier she carries cried, packaged her bag and left. Then he could say he was right. He could close the door on that old chapters and return to his quiet life. But Doga does not leave. He stays in front of him like a question he cannot answer. Doga's biggest battle is not with Yaman, it is with herself. She is used to begin. She is a curtain way in her own old peoples. Noticed her clothes, her family name, her beauty and her confidence. Even when people dislike her, they still treats her like someone important on the form that pictures breaks. A beautiful face does not finish work. A famous surname does not protect her from mud. Her own identity loses its own power one voice at a time. This loss feels painful because Doga does not know who she is without those things. If she is not Hansel's daughter, if she old girl with a nice car, if she is not the woman who enters a room and receives attentions, this who is she? These questions follow her through the day. She does not say it loudly, but it still inside her own. When she tears his hand, when she walks and sees dirt under the nails, she thinks look at herself in a simple mirror without perfect makeup as perfect girl light. She feels strange when they eat with people who are not trying to impress anyone. She feels both uncomfortable and curious. These people speak directly, they laugh loudly, they argue and forgive quickly, they do not hide tiredness behind polite smiles. Their world is rough, but it also honest. Doga is not ready to like it, but she cannot fully ignore it. The hardest thing for her in Yemen silence. When Yaman shout, he can answer. When she give orders, she can fight. When she mocks her, she can throw sharp words back at him. But when he looks at quietly, she loses balance. Silence makes her feel judged more strongly than any insult. It is if she is through her performance, if it's no, when she is acting strong and when she is truly strong. Doga hates his feeling because she is used to controlling how people see her. With Yaman control slip away, Yaman's silence also hides its own confusions. He does not understand why Doga presence affect him so much. He tells himself it is because of the past. He tells himself only angry. He tells himself that making her work is not justice, but it's where only justice. He would not watch for her carefully, he would not notice, but she holds back tears. He would not feel uneasy when others laugh at too much. He would become angry with someone else tries to insult her beyond what he thinks she deserves. This is the first sign of a line inside him. She wants to punish Doga, but he does not want the whole world to destroy her. He wants her pride to break, but he does not want her to spirit to despair. That difference is important. It shows that Yaman heart is already moving. Even before he accepts it, a person can hide feelings from others. For hiding them from himself is much harder. He might turn away after helping her. He may speak harshly after showing care. He may pretend that everything he does not cold reasons, but small actions begins to tell a different story. A glass of water plays where near her, a warning before she makes a dangerous mistake, a quiet check when she is not looking. These things are not love yet, but they are no laughers, hate ethers. The latest event pushed Toga into a deeper test when she gives back her credit cards. This is one of most important decisions because it takes away her easy escape. Because before this he could still feel connected to her old life. Even if she was saying on the form, she had symbols of control. She had a cards that could take her away. She had cards that could buy comfort. She had objects that reminded everyone she was not like them. When she gives them things back, she is trying to make a statement. She wants to say that she can live like an ordinary people. She wants to show that she is not afraid, but a statement is not the beginning. After the bold world come the hard honors. Yaman understands that better than anyone. He knows that yoga don't to prove something, and he decided to make that proof difficult. He does not give her small job that will make her look brave. Without real effort, he gives her tasks that make her body arch and her patience burn. He does not his because he wants to remove the drama from the words. In Yemen words, trust is not what people say, trust is what people do when they are tried, uncomfortable and alone. He wants to see whether Doga courage is real or only another performance. Doga hates him for this. She thinks he is enjoying her suffering. She thinks he is waiting for her break. She thinks every hard job in his way of taking revenge. In many ways, she is right. Yaman is not innocent. His choices are mixed with old angers. He is not only teaching her, he is always answering the humiliations he once felt. But Doga also does not understand the full story. She does not know how much that old interview hurt him. She does not know how deeply a careless act can cut someone who fought for every chance. She remembers the past like a small event. He remembers it is like a wound. The difference is memory creates such of the pain between them. For Doga, the past is foggy. For Yaman, it is sharp. She may not even remember every word she said, but he remembers the feeling. This is often how life works. The persons who accuses pain forgiveness details, while the persons who receive pain carries them for years. The series uses this emotional trust well. It showed that forgiveness is not easy when two people do not even carry the same version of the same event. As Doga works on the farm, as she begins to see Yaman in different way. At first he is only the angry with her, wants to control her, but he wants start her to notice his disciplines. She sees how workers listens to him not only because he gives orders, but because he does not ask anyone to do work to would not be do himself. He knows every part of the farm. He noticed small problems before they becoming big. He treats the land and respect. He may be cold, but he is not lazy. He may be harsh, but it is not fake. These confusions Toga because she prefers enemies who are easy to hate. Yaman also begins to see Doga differently. At first she sees a careless, spoiled and selfish, but then the noticed moment that do not fit that image. She helps someone without being asked. She feels some shame when she make a mistake. She becomes upset when she thinks she has disappointment her father's. She tries again after falling. She argues, but she also listens when she something touches her. They listen. The moment do not erase the past, but the disturb Yaman currently. For a man like Yaman, losing currently is dangerous. His angers her give balance years. If he angers give him balance for years. If that angers become weaker than what remains. The relationship between Doga and her fathers is also very important in this part of the story. Hulusi decisions may look cruel from Doga's side, but it comes from fears and love. He knows that his daughter has grown inside a soft cage. He gave her comfort because he loved her. He protected her because he did not want life to hurt her, but protections can become a mistake when it stops a person from learning. Hulusis may not realize that giving Doga everything did not prepare her for anything. She make a difficult choice. He allows her to struggle because struggles may give her strength. He could not give the through comfort. Doga feels this as betrayal. She thinks her father has turned against her. She thinks he is choosing Yaman's side. She thinks everyone has joined together to make her smile. This pain make her angry, but it also make her more determined. Deep down, she wants her father to be proud. She wants him to see that she is not a child. She wants him to see that she is not a child. She wants to stand in front of him one day and say, I did say without your help. But first, he learned what doing something without help really means. The farm community becomes a second mirror for Doga. Different people react to her in different way. Some laugh at her mistakes, some feel sorry for her, some watch her curiosity, some believe she believe will never change. Some may secret respect for her slaying. These reactions create pressures. Doga is not only fighting her own discomfort, she is fighting the story everyone has already written about her to them. She is the rich girl who came from the city. She is not one of them. She is not expected to understand every day. She stared, she challenged that story little more. This is why her public humiliations at Muge party become such a powerful situation. A person can survive private hardship more easily than public shame on the farm. Doga can make mistake in front of workers, but the world is already different there. At Muge party, she stepped into a social battlefield. The rules of that world are cruel is another way. People smile while judging. She does speak softly while trying to hurt. They look at clothes, postures, and status. They remember who above and who has fallen for Doga in this world of familiars, and that they, while hers more, working as a waitress as his rival party is not job. It is a symbolic fall. Muge represent the social world when Doga once felt powerful to serve is that place means Doga must face people who may enjoy seeing her brought down. Every plate she carries, every glass she offers, every four smiles becomes a test of dignity. Yaman knows this. This is why punishment is so sharp. He is not only making her work, he is placing her pride in front of people who know exactly how to wound it. But the sense can make become Doga chance to show a new kind of strength. If she runs away, everyone will she is right about her. It explodes in anger, Muge in pain. If she lowers her head and completes the job with control, She may surprise them all. Doga control is not but becoming silent or weak. It is about learning when to use her fire and when to hold it. At the party, she must learn that not every insult needs an immediate answer. Sometimes the strongest answer is to finish the task without giving the enemy the reactions they want. This is a difficult lesson for her because Dogar tongue is one of the weapons. She knows how to speak sharply, she knows how to defend herself with attitude, she knows how to turn our conversations in her favors, but Dogarton is one of the weapons. She knows how to speak sharply, she knows how to defeat herself with attitude, she knows how to learn her conversations in her favors, but now her wounds may create more troubles. If she answers every look, she loses the argue with every guest. She confirms her their judgment, so the party become a new kind of battlefield. It is not about strength of body. It is about strength to self-control. Yaman may expect Doga to fall in that environment. Or maybe he expect her to learn. The trust may be somewhere in her middle. He is still angry enough to push her into pain, but he is also curious enough to watch her result. But he sees the standing there dressed not as a guest but as someone serving others. Sometimes inside him may shift, he may remember the old Doga who looked down on him. He may also see the new Doga trying not to break. The past and present may stand in front of him at the same time. That conflict can make him uncomfortable. Mu's role in part of important because she brings a different kind of pressures. Yaman pressure is hard and direct. Mu's pressures in social and hidden. Yaman speak like a knife. Muse may smile like honey while hiding poison undressed. For Doga, Muse is dangerous because she knows his rule of image. She knows how to make someone feel small without appearing openly cruel. She may turn a small mistake into gossip. She can make Doga fall look entering. This gives the party scenes emotional tensions because every small actions can become a weapon, yet Doga is not helpless. One of the best things about her characters is that even when she is weak, she has a spark. She can be embarrassed, but she does not easily surrender. She eyes may fill with anger, but she keeps standing. Her hands may shake while carrying out trash, but she does not trap for pride completely. This is the part of that can grow into real strength. She only needs to learn how to guide that fire instead of letting it burn everything around her. Yaman or journey becomes more complicated as his watch Doga face these tests. In this mind, he wants her to understand difficultly, but their difficulty comes too close to cruelty if he not likes what he sees. This is the beginning of his internal conflict. He must ask himself whether he wants justice or revenge. Justice teaches revenge only hurts. If he is honest with himself, he may realize that some of actions are not noble as he wants to believe. He is not only a teacher of life, he is also a woman who has been carrying angers for so long. This kind of emotional conflict makes Yaman more human. A perfect hero would become boring. A cruel man with no heart with also becomes flat. Yaman is interesting because he stands between harshness and cares. He can hurt Doka and his words, but he can also protect her when danger becomes too real. He can punish her pride, but he cannot ignore her pain completely. He wants to remain good, but likes keep placing in this moment where coldness is not enough. Doga sees that contradictions too, even if she does not understand them. One day, Yaman acts like her enemy, another moment he speaks her without making a show of it. He speaks if the means nothing, but he notices everything he tells her. She cannot handle from life, yet he is always watching to make sure she does not get seriously hurt. She makes behavior make Doka angry because it gives her no clear ground. If he clears not only cruel, she could hate him. If he make kind, she could trust him, but she both sharp and protected, and that make him impossible to ignore. Their argument becomes more emotional because of confusion. When Doga shouts at Yaman, she is not only angry about the farm work, she is angry because her affect her. When Yaman answers harshly, she is not only angry about her behavior, he is angry because she disturbed the walls built around himself. They both use angers about others' feeling. This is why their scenes feels alive. The world may be about crosses, mistake and roles, but the real subject is always deeper. Why do you see me this? Why do I care with you? Think. Why does your pain matter to me? The carries the series can use these questions to slowly build a strong romance. The best romantic story do not rush the answers. They let characters change through pressures. Yaman and Doga need time because their connections has old pain inside. If the suddenly becomes soft, the story would lose power. The must struggles first. The must misunderstand each other. They must make mistake. They must seize each other is at worst and still begins to wonder if there's something worth saving. The fake medical report situation so shows that Doga still has old habits. When she is concerned, she looks for a trick. She tries to escape the hard path instead of walking through it. This does not make her a bad person, it makes her unfinished. Growth is not a strength road. A person does not become mature only because they made one brave choice. Doga gives back her card, but that does not mean she has removed all privilege from the thinking. She that still moment will she want easy exist. She still wants control. She still wants to live to bend around the discomfort. Yaman coaching the life is important because it forces Doga to face the result of her choices. She cannot hide behind excuses. She cannot use his weakness as a tool. She not tools play a role unexpected not to notice. Yaman sees through her and this makes her furious. But it also teaches her that dishonesty has a cost. On the form, people may forgive mistake, but they respect honesty more than clever excuses. Doga must learn that begins wrong is better than begins false. These lessons can become one of her strongest turning points. If she accepts it, she grows. If she refuses, she will remain trapped in the same old patterns. Doga futures depend on whether she can stop fighting every trust that hurts. Some trusts are painful because they are unfair. Others trust are painful because they are corrected. Learning that the difference is part of becoming mature. There is also a softer emotional thread also in lies, cares and soup details in many love stories, food in a quiet language. People who cannot say I care may bring soap, tea, bread or water. They may do it with a serious face, they may act if it means nothing. but the gestures speak in the law of nature. Such a moment is meaningful because Yaman is not a man who easily shows tenderness. If he does not something caring, even a small thing, it carries weight. Doga may try to laugh it off or deny its meanings, but she cannot completely forgive it. Whereas teasing works because it says that what the characters refuses to say. Sometimes a side characters can see the trust more clearly than the people inside the emotional storm. Vera may notice that Yaman's actions do not watch his words. She may see that Doka anger becomes different. When Yaman's name is mentioned, she may ask a simple question that opens the door is Doga mind. Once Doga starts wondering whether Yaman cares, their relationship change. She may still deny it, but detail itself becomes proof that something has touched her. Doga pride will fight his idea strongly. She does not want to believe that Yaman can affect her hers. She does not want to feel grateful to him. She does not want to think about his feels, his silence or his unexpected care. She wants him to remain the enemy because that is simpler, but emotional rarely stay where we place them. They move quick quality, they enter through small cracks. One kind act can stay in the mind longer than their argument. One protective movement can disrupt a wall built from anger. Yaman faces the same problem. He does not want to open. If he softens, he must question the story he has told himself for years. He has believed that Toga represent arrogance and pain. But if she can suffer, try, change, and care, then she is not only that symbol, she is a person, and once he sees her a person, revenge becomes harder. It is easy to punish an image, it is much harder to punish someone who tears. You have seen. This is why the form in the perfect place for their transformation. The form removes makes. In the city, people can hide behind noise, fashion, money, and social power. On the farm, daily life is too direct for many makes to survive. Hunger, tiredness, debt, mud, and work make everyone more real. Doga cannot perform all day without becoming executed. Yaman cannot pretend to be made of stone every 4 hours when he is forced to watch her struggles. The land brings trust out of them. The title, The Law of Nature, also suggests that change does not ask permissions. A seed grows when conditions are right, even if we won't notice as first. Feeling can grow. Same way Yaman and Doga may fight, there are only fighting, but every fight gives them more knowledge of each other. Every sharp movement creates memory, every challenge pulls them into the same story. Nature does not care that they deny it, it continues working underneath the surface. Another part of the story that can become important is the difference between humiliation and humility. These two words may look close, but they are not the same. Humiliation is when someone tries to make you feel worthless. Humility is when you understand that you are not above others. Doga needs humility, not humiliation. Yaman must learn that difference too. If he only humiliates her, he becomes cruel. If he helps her mind humiliately, he becomes part of the growth. The party scenes test his lines very strong. Doga response to public shame will show what kind of person she is becoming. She may begin the night of anger with her heading high and her heart burning. She may feel look like a slab. She may hear whispers when she no one speak. But as the night continues, she may realize that shame power only when she accepts the story others telling. If the carries they try with dignity, if she reverses without beginning of approvals, if she refuses to let Mega break her, then the meaning of the sense change. She is no longer only beginning punished, she is choosing to stand. That kind of standing can affect Yaman deeper. He may see a side of Doga he did not expect, not the girl from the past, not the rich laughters, not the loud woman who complains on the form, but someone who is hurt and still standing, someone who is angry and still completing the work, someone who has every reason to run but does not run. Respect others begins in such moment. Love may come later, but respect must arrive first. Doga also needs to see Yaman in a moment when the pain becomes visible. Until then, she may think he is only harsh by nature. She may believe he enjoys control, but she learns more about what happens to him if he sees a crack in his strong face. Her viewers may change. She may begin to understand that the cruelty is not random. It comes from an old wound. This does not excuse everything he does, but it explains why the carries so much fire beneath her silence. When two peoples begins to understand each other's wounds, the story becomes deeper. They may still fight, but the fight changing. It is not longer only about pride, it becomes about fear. Yaman fears begins humiliated again. Doga fears begins as seen a useless. Yaman fears trusting someone from her world. Doga fears losing the image that made her feel safe. Both of them are afraid of becoming small. Their conflict is really a battles between two from of years. This is why their love, when it grows, will not be simple. It will ask them to surrender the very things they used for protections. Yaman will have to lower his armors. Doga will have to lower her pride. Yaman will have to stop judging every action through the old pain. Doga will have to stop expecting the world to protect her from consequence. They will both have to become softer than not weaker. That is the kind of love Turkish drama often builds so well. So love that does not erase pain but forces people to face it. The farm workers may also become important witness to his change. At first, they may see only comedy is Doga's struggles, her mistake may bring laughter, her complaint may become gossip, but over time, people who work hard every day can recognize effort when they see it. If Doga keeps trying, some of them may begin to protect her in small ways. Someone may teach her a trick for doing a job faster. Someone may warm her before Yaman comes. Someone may sharp food or advice. These small acts can help Doga feel that she is not completely alone. Feeling not alone is a new kind of comfort for Doga. In her old life, she was surrounded by people, but only all of them were sincere. Some came close because of status, some smiled because of her father, some listened because they wanted something on the farm. People may be rough, but when kindness appears, it feels more honest. Doga may slowly discover that simple friendship can feel warmer than social attention. This can change her understanding of people. At the same time, the form community can Doga too. They think she has nothing to offer because she comes from a rich world, but Doga has courage, imagination, and strong voice. She may seize for solutions, ignorance. She may bring energy to a palace that has become too used to routine. She may challenge Yaman in a way no one else deserves. No, her presence may disturb peace, but disturb is not always bad. Sometimes a place needs sometimes from outside to reveal what has become too fixed. Yaman leadership may also tested by Doka arrivals before her. He may have had full of control her daily world. People knew his rules, work move according to his rhythms. His emotional state locked away Doka interrupt all of that. She questions him, she refuses to fear him completely. She makes mistake that creates choices. She bring the city drama into the form orders, but through this choice, Yaman may learn that control is not the same as peace. The he controls may think, but he is not peaceful inside. This is one of the most interesting part of his characters. Yaman looks strong because he can handle work, pressures, and responsibility. But emotional strength is different. Emotional strength means facing pain without turning into cruelty. It means speaking honesty instead of hiding behind anger. It means knowing when to protect and when to let go. Yaman has physical disciplines, but his heart still needs disciplines. Doga becomes the person who force him to face that. Doga emotional discipline is also weak in the beginning. She reacts quickly. She allows pride to speak before wisdom. She wants to him win the moment, even if winning creates more troubles later. From life teaches our patience. Animals do not respond to shouting. The way people do work cannot be finished only by anger. Some task requires rhythm, care, and steady effort. Through these simple lessons, Doka may learn to slow down. She may learn that not every battle must be won immediately. Some victories are built through quiet endurance. The beauty of this type of story that orders works becomes inner work. When Doka learns to carry something heavy, she is also learning to carry responsibility. When she cleans a place she once would have avoided, she is learning part of her own arrogance. When she serves as a party, she is facing for the fears of being seen beneath her old status. She is cleaning a part of own arrogance. She is a party she is facing of fear begins. When Yaman watches her, he is not only seeing a woman's work, he is seeing someone's becomes different in front of him. There will be many mistakes. Growth does not make a person perfect. Doga will get angry. Yaman will still unfair. Muse will still try to weakness mud. Life still creates confusion. Many Yaman will unfair, Muj will weakness, Martis may create confusion, Sulasai will struggles between love and strictness. These problems are important because they keep the story alive. If everyone learns the lessons too quickly, there would be no drama. The entered interested it is watching characters move forward, full back and the try again. Mud Falls hero story can become a major emotional trap if Doga believe he saved her help for in a way he did not. His gratitude may be built on a lie. Lies are dangerous important because they steal choice. A person cannot give honest trust when they do not know the trust. If Mart uses this lie, it becomes closer to Doga. Then he is not only hiding facts, he is shipping for her feeling through deceptions. When he trust comes out, Doga may feel deeply betrayed not only by Mart but also by anyone who knows and remains silent. Yaman reactions to that lies can reveal his characters in a expose in on to win against Mart. His actions may look selfish. It harsh it is to avoid drama. He may hurt Doga by silence if he tells her that trust and with care he may take a step toward honesty. This kind of secrets can become a test of everyone. It asks whether people want control or trust. In the law of nature, trust is often uncomfortable if the rules unnecessary of real growth. Muse is rivalry with Doga and can also reveal the empty side of the social world. Pupils like Muse may seem powerful because they understand reputations, parties, and appearance, but their power depends on fears. They need others to care about their judgment. If Doga stop fearing their opinion, Muse power becoming weaker. This is another important lesson for Doga. She used to belong to the same world. She used to belong to the so she now how much image matters theirs. But from life may teach her that image is not the same as worth. Worth is built differently. It is built when a person keeps a promise. It is built when a person's work even when no one praises them. It is built when a person tells the trust even if trust is embarrassing. It is when a person protects someone's weakness. It is built when a person learns from mistake. Doga begins the story with image, but he is slowly begins pushed toward worth. This movement is the heart of transformations. Yaman also has a heard that worth is not only leadership. He may respect struggles so much that he looks down as comfort, so much that he looks down. But comfort life does not make a person's bad. A rich person can be kind of protected. Persons can grow. A persons who made mistake can change. If Yaman remains trapped in her anger towards Doga words, he will become unfair is another way. His pain gives him understanding of hardship, but it can also make him blind to goodness that appears in unexpected places. This is why Yaman and Doga are useful to each other. Doga needs to Yaman honesty, discipline, and connections to real life. Yaman needs Doga energy, challenge, and ability to disrupt his fixed ideas. She pulls him out of silence, he pulls her out of illusions. Neither likes the process, but both need it. Their relationship is not soft and fast because trust is not always soft. Sometimes trust arrives as difficult conflict. As section 2 of the story devolves, the emotional tone should become more intense than the beginning. The first section should the set up old pain, new meeting at the form as punishment. This section shows the deeper test. What happens when Doga can no longer pretend the form is a only small in what happens when Yaman can no longer pretend she is only a spoiled girl. What happens when public shame, hidden care and old secrets begins to mix? These questions give the story stronger moment. Doga days on the farm can be shown as the clear emotional rhythms. Morning brings with resistance. She makes up tries and annoyed. She hears sound she still has not accepted as normal. She misses the soft lies hard before. Then comes the first task and what it conflict. Maybe she does something wrong, maybe Yaman correct her too sharply, maybe another worker laughed her energies rises, wants to build but sometimes spots stops her. It may be pride, it may be security, it may be a need proof himself. So she continue, but evening she is tried in a way she has never known before. She inside the tiredness there is also strange feeling. She survived becomes its own victory. At first Doga may think victory means defecting. Yaman is an argument. Later she may understand that victory means finishing the day without running away. The shift is small but powerful. It shows that her values are changing. She is becoming to measure herself not by applause but by endurance. That is a major step in her growth. Yaman may notice this before Doga does. She may see that she complains less after some times. She may see that her hands move with more confidence. He may see that she watches others and learns silently. He may feel small sense of pride. They become angry with himself for feeling it. This is the emotional contradictions that can make his sense seen strong. He wants her to improve, but he does not want to admire her. He wants her to learn, but he does not want to care about the result. He wants distance, but the form keeps placing them close. Their closeness may come through ordinary scenes. They may argue near the animals, they may walk the same road in silence, they may stand under the same roof during rain, they may reach from the same tool at the same time, they may speak harshly, they suddenly fall silence because the moment becomes too close. These scenes are small, but in romantic drama, small scenes often carry more emotions than big speeches. A glance after an argument can say more than a confessions. The audience will enjoy watching how both characters deny what is obvious. Dogame tells Versa that Yaman is impossible, rude and harsh, but she may remember the soap. She may remember hand reaching out before she fall. She may remember they were looked at her when other laughed. Yaman may tells himself that yoga in troubles nothing more than he may remembers her standing at the party, refusing to break. He may remembers he tries face his morning. He may remember the moment she did a task correctly. She tries just to not smile. These memories becomes dangerous because they often anger sometimes does not mean the conflict despairs. In fact, softening can make conflict harder. When people hate clearly, they can fight without confusions, but when cares enters, every fight hurts more. A sharp word from a strong is easy to ignore. Some matters cut deeply as yoga demons begins to matter each other's. Their argument will become more painful and more meaningful. The social work outside the form will continue to pull Doga back. Muse, Mert, and others present the old life with its game and appearance that reminds Doga of used to be and who others accept her to remain. The forms pulls her in different directions. In her ask becomes honest, useful, and strong in a new way. Doga stands journey is not only about choosing a what kind of persons she wants to become. That is why the simple story should not Doga feel too quickly. Her growth must come first. It can change, only change becomes because of harm. The transformations, both her transformations become weaker. She must change because life itself teach her. Humans can mirror and a challenge, but Doga must make her own choices. Staying on the farm is another. Forcing the party without breaking can be another. Telling her trust after our lies can be another. Each voice build the new Doga. Yaman also must change her himself, not only because of Doga. He must decide what kind of man he wants to be. Does he wants to remain a prisoner of one old insult? Does he wants to build identity around anger? Does he wants to use hardship as a reason to judge everyone? Wants had a easier life, or he does want to become bigger than the pain that shame him. Doga may push him toward these questions, but only Yaman can answer them. One of the strongest possible scenes in the sections would be a quiet moment after the party. Doga may returns to the form executed. She may remove, she asks, uses all night to survive. She may finally allow herself to breathe. Maybe Yaman sees her sitting alone at first. He may wants to speak with the usual strapped tone, but he sees how dry she is. Stops. There is no big apology. There is no romantic confessions. One silence. Maybe he places waters near her. Maybe he says one simple sentence, not because not soft, but not cruel. Something like, "You did not run for Doga." That may means more than praise. Must such a moment should show progress without making the characters change too fast. Yaman would still be Yaman, Doga would still be Doga, but between them a new respect would begin to appear. The respect is the bridge between hate and love. Without it, romance feels weak. With it, even silence becomes powerful. Doga may answers with pride of course. She may say she is never planned to run. She may lift her chin and act she is night did not hurt her. But Yaman may seize the trust, and this time instead of using that trust against her, he may let it stay private. That would be a major change in him, protecting someone's weakness without annoying in a quiet form of care. The next morning, that their relationship may look the same to and others. They may still argue. Yaman may still give orders. Doga may still complain, but something underneath would be different. There would be it even one else does. This is how Chopin romance work best. The world sees the same fight, but the characters face the hidden change. Doga's rivalry with Muse may also becomes more personal after the party. It Muse pains to spark Doga. She may becomes more determined. People may who enjoy social power do not like it when it targets survive. Mute says spread gossip, twist facts, or try to create misunderstanding between Doga and Yaman. This can bring more drama because he already has trust issues. If he hears the wrong thing, if the wrong time, he's all angry. May returns Doga, may others. This his all energy and returns. Doga may feels betrayal if Yaman believe others too quickly. Their growing trust will be tested before it becomes strong. Martline can add it their pressures. It wants to appear as a hero. He may use Doga confusions to his advantage. He may speak kindly while hiding selfish intentions. These kind of characters can be dangerous because he may not look openly cruel. He may present himself as useful as understanding. Doga who feel attacked by Yaman may be tempted to be trust someone who speaks softly, but softness is not always honesty. Yaman is harsh, but the may be trustful. Mart may be gentle, but he may be false. This creates gives the emotional story depth. Doga must learn to judge people do not one by tones But by trust, a sweet lies can be more harmful than a bitter trust. Yaman trust hurt her pride, but it may help her grow. Might may protect her feeling from a moment, but it can trap her later. Mute smiles may look polite, but it hide purity. Helioside strict decisions may feel like rejections, but it may come from love. The world is not as simple as Doga. One belief people are mixed, motive are mixed, life is mixed. Yaman must learn a similar lessons. Doga complaints may look like weakness, but he may hide effort. He pride may look like arrogance, but it may hide her. His mistake may look like selfishness, but some may come from not knowing better. He may stop reading everyone through the same old angers. If he wants to understand her, he must look again with new eyes. This is hands for a new because eyes many forms him to admit her he was unfair. The emotional center of section 2 is this slow change of versions. Doga begins to seize the form not only as punishment but as a place where she can discover her real strength. Yaman begins to see Doga not only as the woman who once hurts him, but as a person who can struggle, fail, and grow. Their old image of each other begins to break. This does not create peace, yet broken image can create fears because people no longer where they stand. If creates possibility. Possibility is what keeps the story alive. The audience can feel that something is coming, but he has not arrived. They can survive care before the characters name it. They can see attractions hidden under angers. They can see respect beginnings to grow in the soil of conflict. This makes every scene more exciting because the emotional meaning is not on the surface. It is beneath the word. For a YouTube style script, these sections can be narrated with a sense of rising emotional pressures. The narrations can explain that Doka life is no longer a joke, it is becoming a battle of identity. The narrators can show that Yaman punishment is no longer simple revenge because his own heart is becoming involved. The narrators can describe the party as a social test, the fake sports habits as a mistake from Doka old habit, and Yaman cares at the first quiet crack in his heart wall. The language should stay easy because the emotional are already strong. The power comes from clear sentence. Doga wants to prove herself. Yaman wants to keep his angers mute, wants to see Doga falls. Mart wants to protect her life. Hulasai wants his dangers to grow. The form wants work, not excuse. Nature wants trust. These simple force push the story forward. But the end of this section, Doga should not be fully changed, but she should be different from the girls who arrive. She who should still have pride, but now there is endurance. Under it, she should still speak sharply, but now she has moment of silence. She should still miss comfort, but now she has tasted the stage strange satisfying satisfaction of surviving without it. She should still dislike Yaman, but now his opinions matters more than she wants to admit. Yaman should have different. He should strict, but his anger should no longer feel clean. He should feel test Doga, but now he should watch the results with our troubles. Her, he should still remember the past, but now the present should begins to challenge that memory. He should still calls her spoiled, but he does not longer to be completely sure that her contently is that begins to his change. The last feeling of the section 2 should be tension, not peace. Doga has entered the hardest part of her journey. She has removed some symbol of comfort, but now she must live with insults. Yaman has pushed her into painful lessons, but now he must face her pain affect him. The form has started to each both of them, but the lessons are not gentle. Muse, party, hurt, lie, and holosize, strict love all creates pressures from different sides. Every character is moving toward a moment where secrets, pride, and feeling will collide. And this is why the law of nature becomes more gripping after the beginning. Their first meeting grieves and angers. The old past give us reasons, the form of give us setting, but now the story gives us transformations. Doga is no longer only a rich person in troubles. Yaman is no longer only a hard man with a guarded. They are becoming two people's caught. They are caught between who they were to might becomes. They do not yet it might, but the form is not changing Doga, it is changing. Yaman to nature's works slowly, but it works deeply. It does not ask Doga if he asks whether is ready to close her. It does not ask Doga. She is ready to close and sees her old pride. It does not ask Yaman if he is ready to feel again. It simply places them in the same space, under the same sky, inside the same storm. Day by day, task by task, someone argument by arguments, something is shifting. The soil is hard, is shifting. The soil is hard, but something has been planted there, but there are wrong. Something has been planted there, and once something real begins to grow, even the struggles, pride may not be able to stop it. When strict grows, heart cannot say in the part of law of nature. The story begins Law of nature, the story simple punishment into deeper statement. Emotional dangers at the beginning. Doga believe her biggest storm in the she knows waking up early, carrying heavy things, healing with mud, and listening to Yaman orders were the hardest part of this new life, but now she wings to begin understand that the differently is not outsiders, it is outsiders her hurts inside her pride and inside her secrets that were slowly are secrets already now the begins to easy comfort. Now the story begins to take away something even more new strong storms. He currently saw she no longer